Hello, hello. How is everybody tonight?
Hello.
It's so good to be here. I can't believe it's already Sunday.
I know.
This week has gone by so fast.
A lot to fix. There was a lot to build.
Yeah, a lot going on
A lot
this
of work.
week. I had to make a list early on because there was so much going on. So I definitely am excited that I know you're not. Tomorrow's Monday.
It's alright. It's work, but. Oh, sorry. Moving there. I thought you were going to start off with a joke. You're going to end on a joke.
Why are you jumping
Oh, my bad.
jumping my list?
My bad. Alright, I'll just chill.
Well, we'll start by welcoming everybody. So first one in the door was Marsha from Arizona.
Hi.
Hello. I got a message that you've been watching videos and it makes you feel like you're here with us. So
That's cool.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
We miss you.
We do.
Dana Green, hope to stay awake, yard work.
Yeah, that'll put you right out.
Yeah, if it says Texas here. If you're in Texas and it was anything like today, I know it was 80s in Phoenix, and today it was 69, 70.
71 just fine.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. We
Like
spent
that.
some time out doing some yard work too. And Half Bubble Off Plum, evening. How are ya?
Greatest thing on the internet.
Yeah, in life, really.
That's how I build.
Yeah, so
That's up like Texas, right?
what part of Texas are you in, Dana? Because I know, like in Phoenix, it's about 20 degrees difference from here. Sometimes it's almost exactly the same. And then when we were in Flagstaff, it's almost identical weather. Like it seems like that they can almost get colder than we are.
It's funny, Texas is a huge state, and it says Texas. 65 degrees right now.
Nice, cloudy, and breezy. Perfect to get
Yep.
out. East Texas, yeah. And the weather has been so weird that I feel like even if it has been predictable in the past, right now it hasn't. Our family in Phoenix said that they're getting a crazy amount of rain. And we don't usually get a lot of rain, and they've had a lot of rain. So, definitely. Yeah, so we did have some stuff put together that we wanted to. 1 hour or so from
From La. I'm trying to think of some places in Texas.
start with a riddle.
It's a good riddle.
We were in the upper 80s yesterday. Man, upper 80s. It's so weird. I was out there today. We were working, and it felt like Easter. It felt like it was just like totally
Louisiana.
spring.
That would be La.
You solved the riddle.
Yeah.
And happy Sunday, Life Done Free. I know
Hey.
you've been busy. Not like we haven't seen you anytime soon. Recently,
Yeah, he's been super busy, as always. 100 miles an hour.
right?
His middle name.
Right. As always. Oh, life is good, and it's easy.
Yep.
He's gonna end up with a
All
name
those are true.
like Gypsy.
Well, it's good.
Too many to remember.
I didn't get to see the baby goat.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I saw his short that he put up, so I got to see that, which was super cute. But no, I didn't go in or near the barn. Well, I drove past it, but
Yeah.
didn't hurry to get back home.
Tag said that you and him got a lot done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I even got it unloaded, and
Over on the
Over the thing,
animal
so-
side already.
yeah, I'm super excited. So I went and picked up some hay for some mulch for your muddy garden area, not to be muddy soon. So.
The animals love it. They absolutely love it.
Oh, they did. Well, the chickens. Chickens love it.
Yeah. Terminator, how are ya? Good evening.
Hey. All the way from Canada. I had a spring joke. It said something about spring, and it said, oh, wait, I'm in Canada.
So it's warm there now because the last time we
Is
talked
it?
to you a couple weeks ago, it was supposed to be negative 25.
That's
Well,
good. I'm glad it's warm now.
yeah, we put together, there's a
Ooh,
lot
that's
of static.
Wonder why. Everybody else getting some static too? We have our mics on. Trying to think if there's any feedback coming from anything.
I don't have any microphone on.
I wonder if it's because our Starlink router is right behind us. Might be reflecting some frequency.
50 degrees and had heavy rain and thunderstorms, but sunny today.
50's good.
Nice.
That's warm.
Is anybody else hearing a lot of static? Because if I need to change something, I will try to do that for sure. Yeah, Dana says he hears it
You think it's your fan?
on my computer.
Yeah, it's running. It's loud.
I wouldn't think it would be that loud. I wonder. Yes to static, my mom says.
We'll have to figure that out. You must have something plugged in.
How's that? Let's see if anything changes there.
What'd you do?
Change the microphone. Sounds like heavy rain on a tin roof. Well, that's not good.
All I can hear something running and staticky. I wonder if it's picking that up. Your fan.
Sounds like something is running.
Looking over there. It's right here.
Well, I'm trying to hear because I can hear the incubator, but that's in the mudroom. Huh.
Always technical issues.
I know, and I had so much to share.
Turn off the sound and show pictures. Oh, reduce that. No,
Does that help anything?
check.
Let's see. Incubator air system. Something. The incubator is in the far front of the house. That's so weird.
I can't hear it. I come in.
Well, we could try to move.
I really think it's the computer. It's your fan.
I think it's the fan on my computer.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Oh, maybe you fixed it.
It's better.
Great. All right.
Okay. Well,
We'll roll with it.
let's see. Hopefully that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I wanted to start out by first showing you some pictures of the addition. This is the very new mudroom that we've put on. And we need to get some, good. Everyone says that it's better and it's fixed. So awesome. We need to get some decisions made here. So it's really exciting to have this on. You know, everything works good. Windows open and close.
Yep. We need to figure out a paint scheme. I mean, I'm kind of digging the add-on look, but
well, so that was one of the questions that I had.
See?
Yeah, maybe you should start writing the lives.
I'm just gonna talk or not talk.
So yeah, what color should we paint the house? So this has been the big question. We have been trying for months to make a decision on what color we're going to paint the house. We went and got tons of color schemes from Home Depot, and we were trying to figure out, you know, what color. So you can see that like the T111 comes automatically with that like ugly brown primer.
It's not ugly.
It reminds me of
it's very camouflage.
Phoenix.
It looks like a bale of hay when you drive by, and I kind of wanted to keep that, not look at the house motif. Like I was thinking olive green.
Right. So you can also see the gray see how it, like the gray roof. It's, you know, it's got that charcoal color. So we have to pick something, and then B pointed out that the windows and door is white, and if we go to paint something so dark, that white is gonna pop like a diamond in a goat's butt. So we got to figure out what we're doing there. So olive drab.
That's what I thought.
You know, and I think it might actually look really good. First of all, it's my favorite color. I mean, everybody who knows me knows that. I live in that world, but it's if you don't pick the right olive, it can look so 60s and so dated.
I think the one that he got
for the chicken coop
when he some oops paint he picked up for like $5, but
$10.
If we can find that and match, that was a good. It was different than the toy tank green, which we thought was pretty close.
That one was so mustardy yellow in the green family. When you compared it, it wasn't a pretty green. But yes,
not like chicken.
And the olive drab would look good with the green, with the gray roof. Something that blends with the property. So we didn't want to paint it like white with black trim, or you know, something that's very like trendy in the modern farmhousey community type thing. I would like to have it something that blends. I agree. Hey Darren, how have you been?
Hey.
Been really, really busy. Yes, everybody has been. Hilltop, hey, Hilltop Home Place, how are you? You've been on my heart a lot lately. I'm so glad to see you. That's so awesome that you stopped by.
Hello.
So yeah, this is the addition. And then Joe got the ceiling finished, and this is a picture of him putting in the fan and getting electricity all set up. So now we have lights in there. And we can start, he's got to trim everything out and do the finishing work, but it sure is nice not to be staring at insulation. I mean, that was a nice, you did a great job. I'm really, really impressed with how it all
came together.
It sure did. It looks really, really nice.
The ceiling fan was probably the hardest part for whatever. I couldn't get everything to fit in there in the little box, but eventually I did.
Yeah. And there was all of a sudden I thought he had the electricity off for a reason.
I didn't.
I was like, oh, the refrigerator's off. I better be careful. And he goes, what did you just say? And I go, that the refrigerator's off and you better be careful. And he's like, it shouldn't be off. And I go, well, coffee pot's off too. I've been waiting to make some coffee. I go, I thought you had it off because you were messing with the fan. And he's like, no. So then he had to stop what he was doing and troubleshoot. And
well, yeah, I was kind of upset because I'm like, wait a minute. So I think I pulled all the wires back out
of the fan
because I had them all stuffed or whatever, and then realized there was a GFCI outlet that had tripped because I couldn't get the power back on. I kept, turning the breaker on and off, and nothing was happening. So I disassembled the fan for like the third time, and then I think finally, I got it when you left, after you left last night. I fidgeted around with it. So
yeah, it came together. I came home and it was all on. It was nice. Really, really nice. So this was something that we did this week that was a really big deal and kind of cool to be a part of. Absolutely cool to be a part of. Was we had the opportunity to be a part of our community held event, where we held a requested town hall for a Q&A with the county commissioners, and they agreed. And I thought that was, I agree with Tag that was a really good move for them to agree to come, because they didn't have to. This wasn't something that was, mandated by anybody. We just asked them to come and they agreed. And it was funny because the conversations we were having, you and I talked about it, and you were like, I really hope that, they nailed a good venue down. They got a local church, and so they had good sound. We had a lot of really good things in place. And you were like, I really hope that people show up.
Yeah.
And you never know. I mean, you can kind of throw the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, but you don't really know for sure when you put yourself out there like that. And so I just thought it was super cool. And
it was packed.
It was. We had nobody could really get a specific number because, as you can see, it kind of like people come, go, people are trickling in.
I would say easily 200.
If you had to roughly guess, I'd say we had, you could safely say 200 people. And so there was a lot of people there. It was set up. The news even came. The local news came.
Tag was an amazing MC.
Yeah, he was the commentator.
No.
Moderator.
Moderator.
Yeah. Okay, he was the moderator.
You were the commentator. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
Oh, yeah. So you had more baby lambs, man.
No, Jessica's been
Lambs.
I know.
So yeah, it was super cool to get to see kind of some of the questions that were asked and sort of what the people really wanted to see. And this was a list. So we did a poll where at first, let me.
Was cool that I thought was
So the polled questions were good.
Everybody, it went 3 hours. So everybody that had a question in the audience was able to ask a question and get an answer from the commissioner or some sort of answer. But
what I wanted, here we go. That's what I
Okay.
was looking for.
Cool.
I wanted to be able to pull it up. So before we polled the community and just kind of put it out on, Facebook and whatever, and asked and said, hey, what kinds of things do you guys want to know? Like what do we want to talk about? And then that kind of gauged then how much time they spent on everything. And we by no means got to all the questions. And I think this was even an old poll results because there was even an
But he
updated
covered
one.
it. He asked a few from each section though: transparency of government, property rights, budget, taxes, road and bridge, solar, wind, and I think nuclear was even in there. Data centers, all kinds of stuff.
We covered a lot of stuff, but what was great, and this is why I put this question up. So this was the type of questions, and they would put them up on the board, and that was really cool. And what was neat was the when the local news came, this was what the question was that they put up on the board. And this was the one that they happened to capture and put on the news, and it got the commissioner's attention because their answer to this question was that no, they did not think that being a budget being up 35% was living within one's means, but yet they were all, they had all stated that they had felt like that the county needed to live within its means. So I just thought it was great. We had a good conversation about it. We kind of debriefed yesterday night at a meeting about it, just kind of understanding like as a community, how we thought it went and what we thought we did good and what we thought we could do better, what we thought the commissioners, were good at, and what we wanted next from that, kind of commissioner meeting, so to speak. And I thought it was really a cool thing to be a part of. I mean, when you
it's the first time I was a part of that.
And I agree, like Tag had said, you couldn't have done it alone. One person couldn't have put that on. Like it took a community of people to say, hey, we want some answers and we would like to do it in a nice way. ACM Homestead, how are ya? And Farm All in Fords, how are ya?
Farm
All in Fords.
I can't see as much as you can't see, so I had to check.
So yeah, it was really cool. I don't know that I felt like it for our very first meeting, it went good. Yep. Everybody was very well behaved. Commissioners, people of the audience, everybody was very, we even had childcare there.
Yeah, it went really smooth.
And I think it's just a good idea to keep communication flowing, to have these kinds of things happening. So it was super fun to be a part of, and
excited for the next one.
And if you have any thing in your community like this where you could step up, help organize, help be a part of something like this to help open the lines of communication with your local officials, because really what we've seen is that this does make a difference. There's been a couple different instances where things would have just been changed had we not stepped up and said something. And so I think it's super encouraging and awesome to see this kind of stuff. That if you can yoke up with people that are like minded to do these kinds of things, and they, if you really want truth and answers, it's a great way to approach it. So the next thing that we had that was kind of our big deal was, you guys remember, this was our pond, and this was where our skid steer got left.
Well, it was dried out. As you can see, the pond's dried out. And so I was going to try and clean it up. It was a nice day out, and I figured I would roll in there, and you could see all the nice, looks like some chemtrails that day before we got the storm. But yeah, it was full of logs, and it was full of just tree branches, and the inlet is, it comes from, I guess that's south where that hill comes, and all the water runs in. It was all blocked with trees and debris. So I moved a bunch of it, and then eventually, while moving everything, I busted the hose. So I didn't know that's what it was. And there's a video of,
I'll put it back.
yeah, I was actually able to get the cab up. I've never gotten pulled up the cab on there before. I tried once before and I had some trouble. But I just took my time, and it was just two bolts really, and lifted right up, and I was able to look down in there, and I don't even know what that's called. I think it's a hydraulic pump. That's what's running everything, and basically just troubleshooting it and trying to find the source of contamination, and then hoping it wasn't hard to reach or hard to see. Those are the big bolts that I had to take out to get the cab up. And those were kind of hard to reach and hard to see. And I don't know, that's just me showing you the tools. And I kind of just talked about what tools, because I kind of put a video together. And oh yeah, the dogs came down to visit too. They were having fun. They like it down there. And Sissy got really muddy. She's the one with the 3 ears perked up there. She was a mess. And then that's me underneath it, pulling off a little skid plate to try and get to that other side of that box that you were looking at before.
So this is actually kind of like turned the wrong way, but the hydraulic fluid is actually leaking out of the top of the hose up there.
Yeah.
And so it's actually like dripping down.
Oh, if you can zoom in on that.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're watching this on like a big TV, you could see a lot more, but it was really grubby and yucky.
Well, you could tell that's definitely where it sprung the leak in blue, and then that's what was underneath. All of that. I actually found a game token in there. I don't know if it's from like Chuck E. Cheese. It said no cash value, so I thought it was a golden coin. And then I found a broken bolt and a washer and something else in there, but
it's like moving the couch.
Yeah, it was just mud and
you never expect that's going to be underneath there.
And hydraulic fluid. No, I didn't think I'd find a, but yeah, so that had to get cleaned out anyway. So I was glad all of that happened, because it kind of forces you to clean your mess.
Right. And so you were able to kind of not only get the cab up. Marshall said that the red safety bar needs to be up when he's working underneath the cab for safety. Marshall.
Actually, I had it in this picture. You can barely see it. It's different because I didn't have the bucket raised. That was on the ground. So just the cab was up, and there's a little red lever that actually, when you lift it up, there's a spring in it, and it'll lock in place. So you can't pull it down. And because I tried to pull it down and I couldn't, and I thought it was stuck, and yeah, I looked around it, and finally I was like, hey, what's this little red thing do? And you got to kind of lift it and push it down at the same time, lift the red knob.
It's like a fail safe.
And yeah, it was a little tricky to do, and not smash any fingers, but yeah, it's super safe.
Darren says,
you.
I don't like getting that stuff in my face. Dana Green says, ew.
Yeah.
He said, okay, you know how Marshall is.
Yeah.
And then, so what was cool, talk about this. So we took the cart to Foley.
First, and those who know me, I prayed. I was like, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. And anytime something like that happens, I think I texted Tag and I'm like, yeah, got a hydraulic issue. And he's like, ouch. And I'm like, I know. Because the last time it was like $6,000 to fix the hydraulic pump or the drive motor. Anyway, and I didn't want that because not having a skid steer it's such a force multiplier. It moves everything. It lifts everything. It you name it, and it just helps super to have one. And so when you're down and it's down, is a bummer. So I prayed, and it was the craziest thing. It was an easy hose. It was not hard to reach. It was not hard to locate. It wasn't hard to do any of it actually. It was a couple 4 bolts on one end and one big bolt you can see in that picture. Took the crappy hose into Foley, which is a cat dealership. And what was cool there, and I didn't get a video, I should have, but the guy actually made it all right there in front of me. He made the hose with he just cut it to the size I needed. He put the fittings on both sides and crimped them on, and I was out the door in probably 10 minutes and $125 for that hose. Oh, there you go. $120. And then, 10 gallons of hydraulic fluid, which was also a good deal. I think we paid it was like $45 for a 5-gallon pail. So, yeah. That,
give or take a few in taxes, but
$220, and labor was free. So, and it took all of probably a day and a half, if that, because of the rain, and it started raining really bad when it got stuck. So I had to get it out of the pond because I didn't want it to be
stuck in there.
Yeah, stuck in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah,
back up and running.
We've had a good time with that. So this was my joke.
Oh.
What do you call a cow with no legs? Does anybody know? Let's see if anyone in the chat knows if you don't know. What do you call a cow with no legs?
I bet you Life Done Free knows. If he's still on, who knows? Marshall, maybe Marshall knows.
Next week, I think I might have a joke, and I think I might send a T-shirt to the winner if somebody gets the joke right.
That's a good idea. Or a riddle. Nobody knows what to.
What do you call a cow with no legs? Mom, you don't know? Come on.
Yeah, she would know.
Come on. Nobody knows. Pippin, you don't know? What do you call a cow with no legs?
You gonna come back to it?
Yeah, I'll come back to it.
They might Google it though.
Oh yeah.
You're just gonna have to say the answer.
All right. Nobody going once, going twice. Ground beef.
Ground beef.
Hamburger. Hacks.
Yeah. Hacks for the win. That's great.
Oh, so we had some pretty crazy storms. A milk machine.
That's a good one.
We had some pretty crazy storms come through here that kind of got tornadic this week.
Well, it was supposed to, but not in our area.
Right.
It kind of just fizzled out.
Right.
But as it was rolling in, I got some really good pictures of the lightning.
Yeah.
It was pitch black outside, and then every time the lightning would strike, I'd get a good picture.
And so, to give you perspective, we don't have we have one solar light outside. It is pitch black dark outside of our house. So to see the Polaris like this at night, this was a crazy illumination. And we were actually talking about the jolt that our solar panels would get from
just the light.
Right. And so this is actually two different pictures. It was just such a crazy scene, and the way that you took them going vertical, it was hard to get them.
Oh, I see.
And so, but the clouds that were forming and the ball of light, I'm so proud of you, Joe.
Thanks.
Pray and go, and God makes a way. That's right.
He's the way maker. Always makes a way.
Man, isn't that the truth?
Yep.
So this was crazy because I mean, it looks like there's like a ball of light right behind the house, which there is, the lightning. But I just thought it was just such a crazy.
Was that the night the hail came, or that was the night before?
That was the night of the hail, and you didn't get the hail on. No, maybe that was the next night because
I think this is the night.
the next night
I don't remember.
we were actually like thinking, oh, we might have to get up and go
But
to
we
like
didn't.
to the tornado shelter.
Yeah. Also known as our buddy.
Yeah. So today, what did we do today?
That's what we did. We chopped, or actually, the wood was already cut, and sat out. But oh, look at that! It's all blurry.
Yeah, because it didn't focus. But
bummer.
yeah, this
yeah,
was
that's it. The splitting wood.
We got to bust out the new wood splitter today.
That was fun.
That was, yeah, it was actually really nice.
Ran like a champ. You started it, so that's good to know. You can do that by yourself now.
Yeah, yeah. Two pulls, I think it took me.
Yeah,
I was excited about that.
2 pulls.
Nice. Well, so I'll put it on this one. So what was cool was we actually this week we kind of throughout this storm we figured out like, hey, we're out of wood.
Pretty much. We were down to like about a half a tote, but it's warm and winters, I think pretty much we're out of the woods, but it was like, I think next week it's going to be in the 30s.
Well, what's funny too is that like it's 29 when we wake up. So it's still pretty chilly in the morning and you at least got to start a fire while you have a cup of coffee and,
That's
get
nice.
going. And then like I kept throwing logs on and he's like, are you going to keep throwing logs on? You're not warm. But it was nice to be able to go out there and cut wood.
Yep.
He used the skid steer again, back with our force multiplier. He used the skid steer to lift those logs so that they don't pinch the blade.
I'm pretty sure it was cherry. They were big and it was heavy. It was a giant tree that fell last year, and I was able to drag it out into like 4 different parts, and there's still a part standing.
It was some of the hardest wood I've ever seen cut. I mean, they were so heavy and dense.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, like, cut this smaller, because you would give us these like big, and you want big logs and you want that, but it sometimes it won't burn when you're trying to get it to like light, and you need some of that littler, hairy wood.
Anyway.
Well, I like it when they get kind of splintery and kindling like built into the log. It makes it easier. So but we were able to use the skid steer, and he used the forks to lift it up. And that log, those pieces were incredibly heavy.
Yeah, and I try to make them stove size. I want to say about 18 to 20 inches.
Well, what was cool too was we were also given a crate of wood. We owed some wood to our friends that had lent us some, and he was using that to kind of gauge, like, they like their logs a little bigger because they have a bigger stove.
Yeah.
And so we at first had started cutting them real short, and then he was like, if we're going to give this tote to them, let's cut them a little longer. So that was also pretty cool to have that understanding.
And that's actually Marshall's most amazing chainsaw right there. That thing cuts through that wood like butter.
You know, it's so funny, when he bought it, I'm like, why do you have to get the biggest one that you ever can get? Man. But now I'm like, I don't know what we would do if we didn't have it. We wouldn't be able to cut a log that size if you didn't have it.
Yep, the Lord's the way.
Because the little tiny one,
it's great. It's a great, they call it an arbor.
But it's for like cutting down like a limb and
stuff like that. It's still a beast, but there's just more cubic inches in that one.
And then again, with the force multiplier, the skid steer is just, it lifts this big crate of solid wood and puts it in the back of the truck. And it's just been...
Yeah, it worked out good.
Yeah, it's just been really nice. So we were able to... Oh, sorry.
Is that me fixing my fork? My handy dandy
fork?
Fork?
So this was... these forks actually came off of the skids or the forklift that we bought from Marshall,
Yeah.
and it was an electric forklift, and it kind of got stuck in the mud.
It's
It
still stuck in the mud. I've got some
doesn't have.
issues.
It didn't.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got to figure out
When I
what we
need
got to
to.
do to get it working again. But you took the forks off of it and put them on the front of this, and I think you learned how to maneuver that thing quite well. And then being able to pick this wood up, I mean, I don't know. I would love to be able to.
I had to open the forks up a little bit because they're closing. And we had it to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's super helpful, and you know.
Be able to get all of that in there and get that done.
Yeah.
Like that. So he gets the skid steer, to get that wood up and gets that in the back of the truck. Now we can take that one down. But then what's cool is that he takes that actual other tote and brings it back down to the house and puts it right by the front door. So now I've got a full tote of wood in a matter of hours. I'm all set for the rest of the winter.
That should last, yeah. Because it would probably take, with the temperatures now, maybe a month to go through that. So it's going to be, Addie's wedding will be over by the time we finish that wood.
Well, and I'm speaking about it like this, like in such awe, because this is a skill that we've just learned. This is something that has just come to us this last year. We didn't know when we moved here. I don't know what we were thinking, but we weren't thinking we needed wood. And then it was like winter came, and it was like we needed to figure that out. So I don't know. I'm just so grateful because it's like we didn't come here going, okay, we need to get a skid steer. We need to do this. We need to do that. We just did it one step at a time.
Yep.
And so that was super cool. I was really excited that's like check off of our list now.
Yeah.
And we were able to give back a tote to our friends that needed it. So let's see. So there we are with the pictures, putting it in there. And then this was something else we did this week. We let our boy out. We let Prince Charming come out into a gated area, fenced area.
He was flexing. He's a goofy. He's a little awkward, but he's just getting the feel for how things are done around there. Because the guineas, there's a hierarchy between the guineas, the hens,
the turkey,
and the turkeys, and the hen. I don't have a name for her. She got stuck in his run when he got out.
This chicken hen.
Yeah. And so, the chicken hen. And I didn't know what to call her, so I just called her hen. I'm like, hen, come out, hen. 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 But she's good.
Yeah, so we
the girl turkey.
That was a girl chicken. And then the hen, one of our viewers was like, oh, your Jenny is so pretty. And I'm like, that's her name. So we've been calling her Jenny and him Tom. So that's Jenny and
original.
Tom. Prince Charming Tom. And so the most exciting part of my week was Joe came out and he was like, hey, I just want to tell you that I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, and he had just come in from doing chores. And I'm like thinking to myself, what surprise could he have that I don't know about? Like, how could he have something I don't know what the surprise is? Well, he for sure did have a surprise, and he pulls it out of his pocket, and he found a turkey egg. I'm so excited. And yes, Darren, he does look right at home. He's my handsome boy.
He loves it.
He is spoiled.
He is.
So I'm super excited because Joe found our first turkey egg.
And then I found her nest the next, 2 days later? Yeah, I went out by the swale, where your garden's at.
Well, she was roaming around by herself out there.
She had been.
And we're like, hey, you don't have any homies to help protect you out here in this, 80 acres of tundra. And so we were you followed her because you're like, I got to make sure she's okay. She's in that tall grass.
Yep.
And
yeah, she was just chilling on 3 more eggs.
So I have 4 eggs. I'm so excited. I know it's not a baby goat because that's
super exciting.
Or a baby lamb.
Oh yeah.
Like getting a baby 4-legged animal of any kind.
Yeah.
Would be pig, cow. Oh, a little tiny pig.
We haven't found any guinea eggs.
No, but they are very primitive. I remember when last year when Bee had her guineas laying eggs, they were like in her food forest, laying them under this giant thing, and there was a snake in there eating the eggs too. And I was like, where are we at? Yeah. So they will lay them in like, and you know what I wonder? If they lay them at Greg's house. They go to the neighbor's house across the street. They take a field trip.
And then Jessica goes outside and call them. So they'll guineas, and they'll all fly back over.
And they come back.
Yeah. Everything's domesticated.
Well, in our house. It's because we spoil everything. They are absolutely loving these mealworms that we were sent.
Yeah.
If they hear the door open, they bum rush the door.
Everybody, it's like they pick up their pants and they just start hauling bum. That's what it looks like.
Have you ever seen a chicken pick up its britches and run?
It does.
Oh, so yeah, we actually haven't had to pick up Babe, Jenny.
Yeah.
We haven't had to pick her up because she just comes for the worms. If she sees the bag, she'll follow you right in.
Oh,
her and everybody else.
To her food, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering, maybe Darren can answer this, because I don't know. It did seem like you guys let yours out, but we let ours free range. I'm nervous to let Prince Charming out beyond a fenced area because he's not quite, I don't think he's quite to the point. Like, he's cool with the dogs now. The dogs came over and he wasn't trying to commit suicide. He was like, no. He went about his business.
Yeah, he didn't bother him one bit.
Yeah, but I don't want to let him out just yet because I'm really concerned that he won't go back in, because we do have kind of a challenge to get him back into the sheep shed.
Yeah.
We have to kind of corral him.
And I think eventually, like, it's his safe spot. So, I mean, I'll figure it out.
He knows it as his safe spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I think, and then once we have everything moved again and you start your garden, I think it'll be, we can have a big area, because we've got, is that a 100-foot fence? So we got 200 feet of fence. Mm-hmm. We can make that's a pretty big.
Electrified fence.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Solar electrified fence.
And more to keep things out.
Right.
Than to keep them.
Yeah.
And.
Well, and so that brings us to our next point. We couldn't do anything on the garden until the skid steer was fixed. And so now that you've got the skid steer fixed.
Because you want the garden where everything's at.
Yes, and
zone 0, which is, I think it's smart, because it'll make you'll be able to see your garden and be able to walk out there and.
Well, all the research that I've done and my own experience in research has been that the closer it is to my door, the more I get in there and handle it. Yeah. I think I'm going to do potatoes different this year than I've done them in the past.
Yeah.
I have a different plan for potatoes. I am going to.
Oh, that Amish method.
Yeah. And I'm going to use, cool. They do it vertically rather than horizontally. And I really think that is going to.
Is the tubers?
Yes. So you just keep producing. It allows it to produce more tubers as it comes off. Our turks do get out and about and turkey herding in the evenings.
Our thing. Okay, good. Good. I feel your pain.
I want to come herd turkeys with Pippin.
Yeah. She will. You got a turkey herder.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Well, one of the biggest things that we did this week was we got soil. I got all the seeds out. We got our shelf in the mudroom put up so that I have a place to start. And it gets pretty warm up there. He was up there putting the fan up and he's like, it's hot up here.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And then I had a tip that I saw, and I was wondering if anybody has experienced this tip. They said to put a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide into a cup of water and then germinate your seeds in that, and that would give you a better germination rate, and it would clean the seeds of any kind of fungus or anything that might be
funky.
going on the outside.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if anyone had ever done that. I'm going to definitely try it.
Yeah.
I think that it would be a cool thing to try. So, and there was actually like scientific data that had shown that there was actually more sprouts that sprouted. They germinated at like the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that last year, that was a big problem I had, was like 10 seeds would sprout. So I would plant more, and then these ones would be taller and these ones would be, you know, and you're like, oh, you got to get things out. And so my biggest question too is that I was talking to Tag and B about whether or not we should move the chickens before we go out of town. I don't know if I should move them or if I should leave them where they're at because they're used to it.
Well, if you're not going to, I mean, I doubt you're going to do your gardening because we're leaving in a couple of weeks. And so to get out there and do it, that's going to take a lot of work. But you're doing like a no dig method.
Yeah, really, I am doing a no dig. Charles Dowding. Charles. So, and what is going to be the most work is putting up the fence. So we're going to take down the cattle corral, and we're going to move the cattle corral over here, and we're going to make it a garden.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Dana says he's heard about that, but not more than that. Well, I'm going to try it, and I'll let you guys know what happens because I'm super excited. Last year, I had a really hard time getting seeds to germinate. And when you have like, you've been saving seeds, what's the point if they're not going to germinate? Like,
give them all the right temperature, humidity.
Yeah, and I want to give them an opportunity to grow because there's a lot of food in there. So, you know, this week we have a big storm coming again Tuesday. We have another chance for some hairy weather, and today it was almost 70. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 75. And then Tuesday it's supposed to be 75.
So I think starting rain Tuesday.
And then Wednesday it's supposed to be in the 50s. So with that 20-degree weather difference, I kind of expect we could have a chance of getting something. And that kind of brings us to the you know, our final topic of what we talked about this week of like what we need to do. Is that we really realize like maybe a storm shelter is something we probably need to start thinking about as serious as a well.
Jessica gets really, really scared.
Nervous. I'm nervous.
Is it nervous?
I don't.
She's
yes.
Prepared, not scared.
Right. And so he wants to like get my mind off of it, and I'm like, I have to find out if it's coming. We have 10 minutes to get to our safe space, and that 10 minutes goes fast. You're laughing, but it can be like that. And these people, what we were watching happen, these
crazy.
little blips form, and then these places that never were waking up that morning expecting a tornado.
I know.
Plumb wild, y'all.
Well, yeah. Her and her Ryan Hall, y'all. And I'm like, this. And I think they even made like a disclaimer, like, hey, if you're watching this and freaking out, maybe you should take a break. I'm like, man, I'm so glad they said that.
I'm not freaking out, though. I just want to be aware.
Yeah.
Crooked Little Homestead says, I germinate most of my seeds in a damp paper towel and a baggie in a warm location. We do that a lot.
Yeah. That's great.
Almost to the point where like the paper towel has to go with it because it
sometimes, the root
gets in there.
Gets in there.
Yeah. And I like that method. I do. I like that method. And then somebody else shared with me this week the snail method.
What's that? I've never heard of that.
I'm glad you asked. So you take the way she was explaining it, and I didn't really do any research on it, so I'm totally regurgitating the explanation. But you take any kind of used material. It could be like a feed bag. It could be a tube, like a piece of, I was thinking like foam or something, and you fill it with soil. And then you put your seeds in there, and then you roll it, and
like
then
a
you
cinnamon roll?
Yeah. And then you put those rolls in the pan, and it grows. All your little sprouts, and then when you get done and you're ready to plant, you unroll it, and now you can actually like put your rows of plants like in a row.
The cinnamon roll method.
The cinnamon roll method.
I like that.
And it was his wife.
I like that.
Oh, that I would have to try that. His wife is the one who told me that.
Okay.
It's the one who loves cinnamon rolls.
Oh, oh, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it
Somebody
was
you actually
B.
know.
Yeah,
Okay.
B told me about it last night. She was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this?" And it was the snail method.
That's pretty cool.
And so I just thought that might be something because we were talking about those 74 cell tray blocks that you have.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you got to pop one up and pop one up and
Yeah.
72 to go, you know? And it's like this method, you just unroll it and then you have like your little blocks.
You should try that too with your hydrogen peroxide.
I'm just super excited
Yeah.
to get gardening this year. I think we need to garden. And my goal this year on top of gardening is to learn to preserve. So I've never like canned by myself. I've always like the one time I did it, I had help and they were very seasoned ladies that were doing it in my opinion. So it was like I was just sort of watching and helping where I could, but I didn't leave feeling, and I never do in any of those learning situations. Like I didn't feel like I was confident to do it on my own because it's dangerous. Like it's not like pressure canning, like water bath preserving is different. You don't have that much pressure. Because remember when the top blew off at the house on the pressure cooker?
That was insane.
It was the Lord that I walked out of the kitchen right before it blew up.
Yeah, you and your mom both.
It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. And so that has kind of put the fear when you watch a top blow off of that pressure cooker, it's like the craziest thing. So we that's my goal is to get out and get the water bath going. I would like to do pickles. I would like to do salsa. There are some things that I would like to actually preserve because last year I made refrigerator pickles and they were phenomenal. I eat pickles a lot, but I was like 18 jars deep in pickles and I couldn't finish them.
They were good though.
And then it's like I can't feed them to the chickens because they have garlic in them, and you know.
Chicken stomach bug?
No.
Why not?
Onions and garlic, you shouldn't give it to them.
I figured it would be like a preseason. Like they eat it and then.
Well, it's like your potatoes. You're not supposed to give them potatoes, but it's not all potatoes. It's the green chemical that the potatoes
I don't know if chickens
get.
could eat anything. I thought they were like.
They're not like pigs. No. And I don't know. Some people I do know feed them whatever, but I also, if your potatoes don't have that green in them because you haven't stored them in the light, then you could feed them to the chickens. I did anyway, and they were fine. But
okay.
Yeah, so just getting my seeds going. I think that was it. Getting my canning done. And the other topic of conversation was, and this is something that we need to talk about, is do you think we could get the freeze dryer out and use our power with the freeze dryer? And
when we get back from the wedding, there's going to be so much power, and I think so. I think with the sunshine in the summer, because I mean, you just have to time in not your cloudy or your gray days, because I mean, our system was down to what, like 35% or something, and then
we didn't get to 30. You talking this week?
When it jumped up like to 100, but that morning it was like maybe it was 45, 46%. But by the end of the day, we were at 100%. So.
Yeah, this week because let's talk about that. We had 4 or 5 days of gray.
Yeah.
And we were at this point where we keep a really close eye on it because obviously when that's your power source. Yeah, and you learn to do that. We didn't come that way. And so we've learned to monitor that. And so I said, hey, we're down to 45% or something. We need to probably run the generator. And so what that cost us to run the generator, I actually had it written down. We ran it for 2 hours. That got us a 21% charge on the batteries. So we were at 46%, not 45, and we charged to 67%. And that cost, that was 2 hours. And you said that was a tank.
It wasn't even a tank because I went to put gas in it and it was pretty much full. So I would say that cost maybe, we'll call it a couple gallons.
And so if you figure gas is what is gas?
Like 280. Well,
247 or
I
something
think
a
it was
gallon.
247.
So $5 to, now that's not a daily thing. That's
No,
not something that we're, putting to the 30-day test of how much our electricity
no,
could
it's just
be.
when you got cloudy days for a long stretch and your batteries.
And you're trying to
start
gauge your resources. Like, what do we need to have on hand? And so if anything was to happen to our solar,
Yeah, we do the same with our water too. Because
right,
we don't have a well, we have a cistern that I go and
we haul it in
yeah, basically fill up a 250-gallon IBC.
at a time.
Yeah, so.
And so we have to gauge our water, we have to gauge our electricity, and we were definitely gauging it this week and trying to make sure we had enough. So that's what I was asking about the food freeze dryer, was that I didn't want to, like, we could be in the middle of a 48-hour cycle where it has to run for 48 hours. Now, a way that you could cut that cycle down is you pre-freeze your food. So like if I knew I was going to do that, I would get my trays ready and I would freeze them and then put them in the freeze dryer, and that cuts down that and the power usage of it, having to freeze it, cool it, do all that.
I think we could. I mean, it'll be exciting because a lot of people say that you can't because of the long cycle time.
I think it would make some good video content too. I think people would like to see it working.
But I doubt it pulls more than 1,000 watts continuously.
Well, we should do some research.
Well,
We'll do some research and we'll bring back some findings and let you guys know what we're coming up with, because these are some things that we need to get working.
Yeah.
It does no good to garden if the food is just going to rot in the crates when you harvest
or you
it.
can't give it away.
Right. And we know a lot of people, and we've known people that give it away, but we've got to have a way to preserve it. Otherwise, and we can use it as fodder. We can use it for our animals, but we need to make sure we have a way to preserve it. So I don't know. Any tips or tricks that you guys can pass on to us, we definitely are grateful, because we're still learning. We are always learning.
Yep.
Hey, Pete the Sasquatch, how are ya?
Hey.
How's it going?
Good to see you.
So yeah, we definitely have had, kind of the learning week. I'm proud of you for getting the electricity figured out, for getting the skid steer worked on.
Just prayers, power and prayer. It's not me. I'm just winging it.
Yeah, well, and it's been actually really, really nice to make sure that the things that we've needed, because you really are everything. You are the electrician. We were laughing today because he had a bad egg or something. He had some egg that he was getting rid of. And
I had eggshells. I think we were doing like a breakfast
making eggs, yeah.
Or something. And I just kept getting eggshells and I couldn't pick them out. And so anyway, I think I ended up pouring an egg or something down the sink. And she's like, "You're going to have to call the plumber." And I'm like, "Well, he's off today because it's Sunday. So you're going to have to wait."
Because you are the plumber. And it's like, you're everything. You're the electrician. You're the animal medic. You're the vet. You are the, everything, the fence fixer, the wood splitter, the generator runner. So
it works.
Yeah. And we were actually talking today too, like I have never driven our skid steer. I've driven the rental ones, the Bobcats. Yeah. But I've never driven ours.
Yep. Same thing. I think you could do it.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. It's just something I need to get in and do, because I realize the importance of like being able to fill the role of what you do. And a big thing is like filling that cistern. I've never done that.
Well, you could. You understand.
I've gone with you, but I've never done it alone.
Right.
And there's a big learning. Like that's why, as a teacher, you explain it, you show it, and then you let them do it.
Well, I'm gonna go Wednesday, and you can do it. I'll let you do the whole 9 yards.
But what he's not telling you is that he backs the trailer in with the dually.
You'll get good at it. You will.
I thought one day I'm going to drive this trailer, and I know I can do it. I know I can. I had that thing jackknifed in about 2 minutes.
Well, and then, you were learning.
I straightened it out.
Yeah, you got to figure it out.
But that's exactly my point, is that
and there's little tips and tricks that people say. I didn't know until last year, Indiana Mike, He's like, when you put your hand on the bottom of the steering wheel, whichever way you want your trailer to go, you turn your wheel that way from the bottom, and then your trailer will go in that direction.
Tech tip.
It was a great tech tip. It helps out tremendously.
Yeah. Pete, the Sasquatchy says, good, great, cleaning up all the pruned fruit trees.
Oh, good.
If it runs, has go pedals and levers, no problem.
Yep. That's how I am. I mean, you figure it out. and I think like the first time we got the excavator, I didn't have a clue on that. Like, driven other machinery before, but
oh my gosh, you got locked in it.
Swivel points, not the excavator. I got locked in the skid steer the first time.
Yeah.
But when the excavator came and they dropped it out when we dug the hole for the
pit, you're right.
All I did is I asked the guy, I was like, what does that do? And he's like, well, that lever does this. And I'm like, well, what about that one? And what about that one? He's like, yeah, just figure it out. So
bye.
I did, yeah. See you later.
We'll be back in 3 days.
Yep.
Oh, that's so great.
It's fun.
Yep. Well, and
but the key Pete the Sasquatchy is if it runs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of you can figure out everything else out, but if it ain't running, you're not doing nothing.
Well, and that means this week that's going to be on our next list. So the Polaris is not running.
Well, it was doing something weird, and I haven't called Marshall yet to ask him about it. So he knows now that I'll probably call him. And
well, this is the time of year we want these things. The forest is great right now, and to get out in those trees and to get up there and look around and just to have that Polaris that side by side is great.
So it was super cold, and so I don't know if there was an issue, like maybe there's some water frozen in the gas lines or something.
Yeah.
And then because of the cold, the battery died, and so I haven't messed with it. But I think once I get the battery going, it was still doing the same thing where it seemed like it was kind of starving for fuel, almost like the skid steer when the diesel fuel was gelling up.
When it was super, super cold outside. Yeah, I agree.
But I did put fuel treatment in it, so I don't know if that was it. But yeah, I'll probably get him on the phone to troubleshoot also Wednesday.
Well, just because that's what this is the time of year we want this stuff running. So when he was going down to Teacher's Corner, which is where we cut our wood about a half a mile back on our property, he was like, hey, I'm going to drive the skid steer. You drive the truck. Well, I don't necessarily mind driving the truck, but I don't typically want to drive the truck back there. I would rather take another land vehicle than our truck, unless we're going to get stuff out of the shipping containers or we're going to be bringing stuff back. I'm not big on taking our vehicles down there.
Yeah.
And it's not
because of wear and tear.
You keep it, keep it very high and tight. It's mowed all the way back.
Yeah,
it's not weird or anything. You're not driving over thorns or weird trees, but when we first got here it was. Oh. So.
I like what Darren said, I can drive anything, even drive sand down a knothole. A great skill to have. Yeah, I had a job in Maine once at a lobster wharf driving a semi truck from Maine down to New York Kennedy Airport. Well, I would stop in Massachusetts, and I'm telling you, and it was really bad and half illegal. I didn't have a CDL license, but the guy was like, "Can you drive that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can drive it. It's got wheels, and it runs. How hard can it be?" And he's like, just don't stop at the way stations. And, and I'm like, after the third trip, I was like, this isn't a good fit. And it was rough. Good deal. All right. Well, good to know.
Pete, the Sasquatchy says, that's an awesome statement. Half a mile back on my property. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
We were actually just talking about that. I was saying something about, I don't know, what would be next? What would be our plan if this wasn't it? And Joe says, I don't know. This is it for me. This is kind of, I feel like this is what we came to do.
Yeah.
Have our land, you know? And so, yeah.
Well, if Marshall can't help me troubleshoot, Darren says, hey, Joe, I might know another mechanic for that Polaris. Marshall is excellent at troubleshooting stuff. I can just tell him it's making a funny noise and doing this, and he'll tell me what to check. I'll check it, and that's 99.9% the case. Actually, the truck the other day wasn't starting because I didn't drive it for like a week almost, and I
In the
called.
cold weather.
Yeah, I called Marshall, and I'm like, "Hey, it did this and this," and he's like, "Get a screwdriver and go over to the fuel filter and pop this, and then push this button or plunge it." He's like, your fuel, probably lost pressure in your fuel system." And yeah, sure enough, it was exactly it. It took me about 3 minutes, and now I keep the screwdriver in the front seat just in case it happens again.
Darren, I love you. He's plugging himself.
Oh, well, I know. They don't call him hacks for nothing.
I love him. I love you so much.
She does. Ever since the first day we met him.
Yeah, you guys, you have a
yeah.
very your whole family has a very sweet spot in my heart.
They do.
If he needs help, we will keep you in mind because it's good to have somebody local too. Like the hardest part for us is that Marshall has to like FaceTime or something, and if we could actually get like hands on it if we need it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too is I'm trying to encourage this one to keep doing what he's doing because he's slowly becoming a mechanic.
No.
He will tell you no, but he's fixed my car like to the point where I would have had to have either gotten something new or taken it to a shop. And I don't know how we would have fixed it.
Well, you guys got me that sweet impact wrench for Christmas or my birthday.
Because we're trying to encourage him to keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. So he's done a great job, and I'm super proud of him. And thank you for letting us know that we can call on you. Because,
for sure, I will.
Yeah, I definitely think it's helpful to have that in our hip pocket. So, but once we get the Polaris fixed, our next goal, we still have not lost the sight of what we really want to do, and that is get our property, get it laid out for where we want to start building the main house.
Well, that, and then, I know we had talked about it before, but we wanted to do kind of that wagon wheel. And so we also I thought this year we were going to start with some animal shelters for some four-legged beasts that you wanted. Hopefully something we can eat.
Cows. Well, we're still eating the pig that we butchered almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we are still eating her. Yeah. And I actually don't know if I would get another pig right away.
No.
Just because we have so much pork left.
Yeah, unless we got into like taking them to the auction and doing stuff like that. But
yeah, and unless I could pig share, like if I could do an animal share with somebody where like I had half of it. But keep in mind, the other thing that I really enjoyed about the pig was that we did it ourselves. We had a friend who helped us butcher in their butcher meat room, and that really helped us kind of learn and how to do it. And they even helped us wrap it. They had stamps, so all of my stuff says like stuff. Cube steak and
now they had a full setup. What was that place in is it in Wichita? It's not, was it Walton's? Not Walton's.
Lehman's?
No. It was where they got it's everything but the meat. They had everything to process it, and that's where they got the seasoning.
That's where we bought the sausage. They got the sausage seasoning that we used because we made breakfast sausage. Yeah. It was great. And that was the other thing. If I had a different way to like maybe now that I know, that's another point. Now that I know. So he was like, how do you want your pig processed? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, you got to tell me what kind of steaks do you want? Do you want a ham? Do you want a, it's like, do you want chops? Do you want bone in, and we were
fresh side.
Right. Do you want the bacon? Do you want, and I was just like, okay. I really didn't know. And I'm like, a little of all of it. And so that's literally what we have is a little of all of it. And I have like a 60-pound ham in there. She's huge. It was the whole backside of Sophia, and her hanging weight was over 600 pounds. She maxed out the scale. So this year it's cows. This year I am definitely getting a cow. I would love to have beef and dairy. I would love to have dual purpose.
Build a shelter.
And that's our
and
big
water.
thing.
And because I was talking to Taggy today, and like you say, those cows will drink, what is it, 60, 80 gallons of water a day.
A day.
Yeah.
And so the wagon wheel approach is where we would put the watering like hole in the middle and then kind of section it off into different paddocks and then rotationally graze them in that like
Yeah, but even listening to his conversation, they like he's for the winter too, because
right.
anyway, there's just a lot to think about.
Well, and they do a lot of stuff too. Like
Before we
they've
go.
been putting like well spigots
Yeah.
like in the spaces. They've been putting water collection, and we have not. I mean, being honest, we have not collected any water. We've not done any rainwater
That would be a good
collection,
project.
even just for animal watering. Like, forget human watering
Yeah.
right now. We spend a lot of time watering the animals.
Yeah.
So, what about sheep? How's the predator load?
Mhm.
You know, we have had a full-size coyote on the property more than one time, and I have not had the opportunity to shoot it yet.
And
And
my neighbor's seen it. He's called me and said, "Hey, it just went in that back alley
I see a yote
area."
looking at your chickens.
And I'm like, "Yeah, yo." I'm like, "It's probably just that dog. There's a big copper Labrador." And he's like, "Dude, I've lived in the country for my whole life. That was a coyote that just."
And it is a full-size, like
Yeah.
livestock guardian size.
Yeah.
Like when I say that, I'm not exaggerating.
He's big.
He is, and he was right outside of our front door because we keep our chickens by our house.
It wasn't. Was he?
Yes, he was. He was headed to the sheep shed right across, and we were working in the back room, and I came out and I saw something kind of run in my like vision, like my peripheral vision, and I was like, "What was that?" And I looked outside, and as soon as I looked outside, he was going towards the sheep shed where we keep the turkeys. And I just instinctively, it was like when that guy was stealing my purse out of my car. You go running down there to catch him, and I open the window and go, "Hey, stop." Well, that's what I did. I opened the door and I'm all, "Here."
He did.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like all being crazy and scary. He ran away. And Joe's like, we should have shot it. And I'm like, oh.
Well, now you have.
And he'll be back.
You're ready. You got everything there. Don't forget your ears. Put those on.
Oh, okay. So that's another story. Then I see this random dog on our property, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go out there. I'm not gonna let him get me like the coyote got me. I'm gonna take my 22 out there, and I'm just gonna ring a shot off and let him know that he can't be on my property. Get out of here. And I don't even think twice. I go out there because I don't want to miss the opportunity like I did with the coyote. And I ring this shot off out into the field. And sure enough, I did not have my ears on.
It was loud, I bet.
It was loud for like an hour and a half.
Even just a 22. So. Yeah, don't forget that. Ears are important.
Yeah, movies don't really tell you that you need your ears, do they? You just think you're going to go out there and protect your land.
Movies aren't real.
Oh, yeah. So the things that we've had to learn. But I've had some friends who have been like, hey, do you want goats? And my biggest problem with goats is that our land is not totally secure. Like we have some fencing that we need to repair. I wouldn't think that like a cow could get through it necessarily, but there are some areas even by where our friends were staying that needed to be repaired. Yeah. So and I mean, we have 80 acres and that perimeter fence is a lot.
Yeah.
And so when we moved here, we were like, we were skipping. We're going to do all of this work. We're going to have every weekend. We're going to have all the time. And I don't think we've gotten to a fence line one time since we've been here in almost 2 years. We have just been trying to navigate the inside of it.
Yeah.
And so this is where like having help, like having family that can come and stay and help really does good. But it's like the fence is not quite the like top priority until you start wanting to have animals on your property more than poultry.
Yeah.
And so sheep would be something that I would love. I would love to do like dorpers. I would love to have sheep. I'm still on the fence about goats because I don't know that I can contain them 80 acres is a lot. And then not to mention, we have a problem with our guineas and turkeys going over to the neighbor's house. He's acquired 2 of our hen turkeys because he has toms. And they are like, hey, you guys don't have any toms. We're going where the guys are. See ya. And so we found them over there, thinking a predator had gotten them.
Yep.
So I don't know. Do I offer him a bag of feed and say, hey, there you go? Or he just gets 2 birds that will lay him eggs. I think that's payment enough. So I don't know. We have to figure all that out. If anybody has any ideas, I know that we could do what we had some friends that we let stay here while we weren't living on the property. They put their house here and they did like inside fencing inside the fencing. So electric blind. And that seemed to work really well. And they did livestock guardian dogs out there with them. So that's something we haven't ventured into yet either, is livestock guardian dogs. I know you have to have more than one. You can't just have one. But I don't know. Yeah, the Katahdin St. Croix cross. We have St. Croix, small and can manage in our older age. I've heard that about them. And are they more susceptible to a barber poleworm than the Dorpers, or are they pretty good? I mean, we have so much grass. I don't think that it would be a problem because they could rotationally graze often, especially if we were moving them, every few days. But my biggest thing, and are they pretty docile, or do they try to escape? Because I actually had a friend say that it wasn't the goats that were trying to escape as much as it was their sheep. So just some interesting points. Very parasite resistant, but check. Yeah, and I know it also depends on the type of grass. And the barber poleworm, I think that it has a lot to do with like if you're letting them like stay, because it's actually like inside of them. They go to the bathroom and then that worm comes out of their feces and then crawls up onto the grass, and then they eat the grass and then they're actually ingesting it again. And so I know that's like way a lot, but farm life. And it's just something you have to be very, when you have sheep, you have to be very aware of that, of any animal. And so when I was learning about like what kinds of sheeps what kind of sheep I would want, that was definitely something I was concerned about, was did I have enough land to make sure that they didn't get sick. So anyway, well, we will be here next week. We will be preparing our live, rotationally graze them. Yes, I have heard that. And that is a lot of, I was curious as to with the rotationally grazing, do you rotationally graze them? Can you do cows, your poultry, your cows, and then put sheep behind them? Or is there a certain order they have to go in? Because
Greg Judy, he does that.
Right.
So he runs his sheep behind his cows, and like each one will eat each other's parasites, and
right.
And then chickens, and I think Joel Felton does a similar thing. But
well, and Pippin does Bressies, and so those Bressies, I know they were rotationally grazing because she was showing us where they had actually moved them, and the grass is going to come back even better. Yeah. So look at Greg Judy. Yeah, we've followed him a lot, and I like his method a lot. Yeah. So
especially with sheep.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I thank you guys for coming out and spending your Sunday night with us. We appreciate the great conversation. We're taking notes on this stuff, and we will definitely let you know the research that we come up with this week. And if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out to us. Yeah. You can always email us at americanrootsfarm@gmail.com. And we are definitely looking forward to seeing everybody next Sunday.
Yep.
Thanks so much. We hope that this encourages somebody to buy dirt, not diamonds. Yep. And we'll see you soon. Have a blessed week. Yeah. I'm glad you caught us too, Scotchy.